What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Blade Podcast, the South African podcast about film production, post production, branding, and marketing. I am your host, Lungile, and I'm glad to be back after taking some time off. And I'm back now, and I'm back with a vengeance. Okay, so today, this is obviously episode 7 of the podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how film and TV producers can create killer sizzle reels for TV projects. So if you're a producer and you usually do proof of concept videos and pitch videos and sizzle reels, I'm going to be dropping some cool truth bombs and some cool tips to help you level up your creation of a killer sizzle reel. Film and TV producers usually create proof of concept videos and sizzle reels when they are pitching their projects. Sometimes they be pitching to finances, to broadcasters, or pitching just to get talent for their project. So usually a sizzle reel is something that producers will create in order to sell the idea of a show or a show that they want to get made. And trying to make a perfect sizzle reel is not easy, and it's an art form in itself. I've had the opportunity to create a few sizzle reels for a few clients, and I feel like, the more effort you put into a sizzle reel, the better the sizzle reel is. Obviously, if you want to get money or you want to sell your show to a broadcaster, you need to convince them. So visuals are important. Taking your time to do it is important. And so that even if your pitch sucks, but when you play the sizzle reel, the client will just get it. It's just going to be like, okay, cool, we get what show you're trying to make, what you're going for. So you can't take them lightly because they're very important. The last sizzle reel I did, I spent like 6 days on it. And that's a lot of days that a client could book someone to do a sizzle reel. But obviously they had budget. But if you don't have a budget, there's obviously other ways that you can get around it and be creative and still make a killer sizzle reel. So that's why I made this podcast episode to talk about these things. So to help you guys level up and get your projects done. Okay, so now that you know what a sizzle reel is, so I'm going to be talking about how to create one. So before you create a sizzle reel, you usually have to create a video script. A video script is usually like a document that will highlight what will be happening in the sizzle reel. So a script will be divided into 2 sections. One side will cover audio, the other side will cover visuals. So basically, when you write the script, it's going to showcase if you have a voiceover, if you have dialogue in the sizzle reel, what that's going to be. And then the other side is going to have visuals and descriptions of what you have. This obviously, it's basically like a paper edit of your sizzle reel. And this is something that will help you have a clear idea in your mind, the tone of your sizzle reel. This will also help you when you're working with a video editor, so that when you show them that video script, they can see what's happening minute by minute in the sizzle reel, what you want to have. Because you want to have a plan. You don't want to just wing it or brief someone something, but you don't even have a script for it. So you have to write your video script if you really want to level up. Once you've written your script, you can either choose to do a sizzle reel in 2 ways. You can either choose to go shoot the sizzle reel, so book crew, cast, and whatever, or you can use stock footage to help sell your project. So usually there's a lot of sites like Shutterstock, and ArtGrid. There's a lot of like stock footage sites, and they have a lot of high quality HD footage and 4K footage that you can find that will match the shots you want in your script, and then you can edit them to create a killer sizzle reel. And once you're creating the sizzle reel, it's very important to use high quality assets. So high quality video, high quality pictures, high quality music, because if you are not like Jerry Bakama or Jason Blum or some big ass producer, it's going to be very hard for you to get meetings, or even for you to convince execs and VOD platforms or broadcasters of your show. So you have to have a really good sizzle reel. And also, just to clarify, a sizzle reel is also what other people call trailers. So there's so many different ways of calling it, but all we know is that a sizzle reel is what you will use to sell your show. And usually these sizzle reels are usually like 1 to 3 minutes, and they need to sell your show quick in and out. So I'm just going to repeat that if you're making one, you have to use high quality assets. It just helps you. It's better for you. But yeah, you can either choose to go shoot your sizzle reel with better cameras that like shoot crystal clear, high definition footage or 4K footage, or you can use stock footage. And then another point that is very important is the music you use in your sizzle reel. The music is what will sell the feeling of the show, the tone. You have to use high quality music. And when it comes to music, you can have an option of using library music, or you can use commercial music. There's a lot of library music websites like UniPPM, which is Universal Music, Extreme Music, Mama Dance, and there's also Artlist. So there's so many. It obviously depends on what account you want to create. And you can also use commercial music, but you just need to make sure that if you use commercial music, you're only using it for that sizzle reel for internal viewing. You're not going to put it online because you will be sued. This is not even a question. You cannot do that. Another thing that you have to think about when you're creating a sizzle reel is that sometimes you have to find and work with talent. Sometimes if you're making a reality show about, I don't know, like a farmer with like a crazy personality, and you want to sell that show to a broadcaster, it helps for you to already have a contract with that farmer and say, I've got this farmer, we're going to make a reality show about him. He's very cool and funny. You know, you describe the character, but then also you have a contract with him. So when you go to the broadcaster, you can say, I have this guy, he's agreed, you know. And what you do in that regard, you have to sign a 1-year option agreement with that talent, whether it's a presenter or it's like a cast member. Because having an option agreement protects you in terms of that cast member won't go to another producer to kind of try and make another show or steal your idea. Just like when people adapt books, before they buy the rights to the book to adapt into a movie or series, they get an option agreement, and with the rights holder or the publisher who owns that book, and then they pay to have the rights for like 1 year while they shop for finance and sell a project. And once they do manage to raise enough money, they raise enough money to pay for the rights for the show so they can do whatever they want. So it's just like things that you have to do to cover your bases and make sure that you're protected and you are not at risk. Also, there's so many different types of sizzle reels, and they're all used in different settings. Some of them are used to highlight certain things. So I'm just gonna describe a few of them so that maybe you have like a clear idea and you are able to know what kind of sizzle reel you need for your show. Okay, so the first type of sizzle reel is a Riptomatic. A Riptomatic is a type of sizzle reel which is created by using source footage, the existing source footage from YouTube, from news clips, and stock footage. So this is a type of sizzle reel that is made a lot by a lot of producers. Usually they want to tell their story, and then they go and they get YouTube clips, they get news clips, they get all types of stock footage so that they can create a sizzle reel. What's great about this type of sizzle reel is that it's not that expensive and it's very affordable, and you don't have to. Ideally, you should get rights to the source footage you use, but most of the time, people don't do that. But a right way to do it is obviously to pay for the footage that you use. But if you're not, just know that once you've made that sizzle reel, you cannot put it online anywhere because you do not own that source footage. You do not have rights to that footage, so you cannot put that online, because if you do put it online, you're gonna have some crazy legal troubles. So as long as you're making that sizzle reel for internal viewing, you will be fine. Just make sure you do not put it online. The next type of sizzle reel is a talent sizzle reel. A talent sizzle reel is usually a sizzle reel that is 1 to 3 minutes. or 1 to 5 minutes, just like the Riptomatic, which showcases a particular character in their natural habitat. So if you're making a character-centric TV show or documentary or reality show that focuses on one main character, you can shoot a day in the life type video of the character to showcase the character and to showcase your idea to execs and finances that this is our subject for our project, and this is what this is a sample of what the project is going to be like. So obviously might not be you won't be using source footage. This will probably be something that you will go and spend a day with him and shoot him and try to make that sizzle reel. The next type of sizzle reel is an independent TV pilot. So this can be 5 to 60 minutes or of a show, whether it's a reality show or a fiction show or a documentary show. The great thing about this is that it can showcase your skills to execs and broadcasters in terms of what the show will look like, and also have a chance to really hook them and convince them to finance your show. The only con about it is that, a lot of people are very busy, especially execs, and they don't have time to watch a 60-minute pilot. But if you can shoot one, obviously you have to use your best judgment, because you don't want to spend too much money and not being able to live or pay rent. So you have to gauge that for yourself. Is it better for me if I create a shorter sizzle reel, or if I create a full-on TV pilot so they can see my capabilities? So it's like a double-edged sword, so it can go either way. It's all about what you can deliver. So that's it, guys. That's it for the Blade podcast. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, but I'm gonna keep bringing the podcast episodes coming, and I'm excited. I'm bringing the podcast back. I'm gonna enjoy talking to you guys, and hopefully soon I'm gonna start having guests. But for now, it will remain a solo podcast about film production, post-production, and marketing. So this has been an episode of the Blade Podcast, episode 7. I am your host, Lungile. If you are listening to this or watching this on YouTube, please drop a comment. Let me know what other things you'd like me to talk about. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your questions? What are you guys thinking? What other episodes do you think I should make? What topics do you think I should cover? Until next time, guys, peace out.